There's not as bodies in here, but that's all right. Thank you for coming. We're going to go a little out of order because we have Reminder Media, preferred vendor Barry's got set up, and they're going to be on Zoom and do a presentation. And then we're going to dive into our regular team meeting. Fair enough? Does anybody care? All right. Go ahead. Barry, you want to take it or have them take it from that?
Seth, are you on?
Yep, yep.
All right,
How's
you're
it
good.
sounding for you guys? Coming through loud and clear?
Yeah, we're good.
All right, wonderful. Well, yeah, and Barry, I was going to ask you real quick. I know we work with 6 or 7 agents in the office currently. Do we have any current clients with Reminder Media here today?
I
Uh,
am.
there you go. Yeah, Delise Bowles is on,
All
right?
right, perfect. Well, I was going to say, I always pause for questions towards the end. So if you guys think I'm missing anything or want to chime in with your own thoughts from working with us, by all means, feel free. I know it's always really helpful. But Barry, I want to thank you again for having us out. We always appreciate the opportunity. My name is Seth. I'm the marketing coordinator with Reminder Media. So we've been around for 21 years now. We're based out of Philadelphia. And our whole concept in a nutshell is really just that real estate's such a relationship-driven business. We help our clients stay connected with the people that matter most. So most folks kind of target that top tier of the database, your favorite past clients, your A-list spheres of influence, just to make sure you're staying top of mind, you're getting the referrals, you're getting the repeat transactions, because we know the last thing you want to hear in real estate right now is someone you know just used a different agent. And I know we hear that one a lot. So I don't spend too much time on the data and the statistics of it all. The two that I always bring up, one is NAR finds 81% of sellers end up listing their home with the first person they talk to. So this really just shows how important it is to make sure as soon as real estate comes up for the contacts in your database, your name is on the tip of their tongue. I've been with the company now for 9 years, and I can't say how many times I've been talking to an agent that told me they lost out on a transaction for something like, oh, my client forgot my name or they lost my phone number. And we'd hate for you guys to miss out on transactions for something so silly. And then the other one, which again, you guys know better than I do, the majority of business in real estate is coming through referrals. So NAR finds 65% of the sellers, 56% of the buyers are using a or are finding their agent through a referral. So this is really what we try to hyper focus on. And now that makes this graphic a little interesting. So this is representing where NAR finds agents spending their time and their budget. So NAR finds pretty much everyone in real estate spends all their time and all their money over here. So it's the billboards, email marketing campaigns, Zillow leads, and these things are great. They will account for about 35% of all the listings. Now, what's interesting is NAR also finds the majority of agents will spend $0 per year on the referral based and relationship expenses. So it kind of shows us a lot of people are putting their time, their energy, but most importantly, the marketing dollars, maybe not in the best place. And then the one thing I love about our company, we do try to put our money where our mouth is. So we actually started our own real estate team about 7 years ago. This gentleman here on the left side is our CEO's nephew, and we kind of used him as the guinea pig. We threw him in real estate, we gave him our tools, gave him our coaching, and it's been a really great experience for us just to see firsthand, all right, what works, what doesn't, and how can we make it better? The team's done really well too. So they're based out of Lynchburg, Virginia. They quickly became the #1 team in Lynchburg. Now they're the #4 in the state of Virginia overall. So they're doing really well with it. And then I always like to give this guy a little shout out. This is Tim Bushnell. He's the new guy in our team. He's been doing real estate coming up on 2 years now total. In his first full year in 2024, he did 72 transactions. And if that's not impressive enough, he was a transplant from Texas. So he came to Virginia having a really small database. So Tim's kind of helped us write the book on how we work with our newer agents. Now, I always follow that up with, unfortunately, I'm not here to like promise you guys 70 transactions the first year working together, but just keep in the back of your mind, can this help me get more referrals out of my database? Can this help me get a few extra transactions on the year? Much more realistic goals with it. So the custom magazines, this has always been our cornerstone. This is what we drive that 31% referral rate with. So I'll pull it up here and walk you through it a bit of detail. So with the different magazines, we'll have 4 in total. The Good to Be Home magazine is the one I want to spend the most time on. This one we made specifically for the residential agents. We do have 4 magazines in total. The American Lifestyle magazine, this is the one that's been around for 21 years now, and it's kind of our jack of all trades when it comes to content. Travel, health, recipes, home decoration. It has a little bit of something in there for everyone. The Start Healthy on the left has a healthier spin to it. Overall health and wellness, it has healthier recipes in there. So this one's really nice if any of your contacts are big health enthusiasts, marathon runners, perfect fit for those contacts. On the right side, the business in action, this one we made with the commercial agents in mind. So it's all business related content inside. So if you're doing commercial work, or even if one of your clients or friends owns a business, this one could be a nice fit for those contacts. But going back up, the good to be home, this one has been the crowd favorite ever since we started it. It's all home content. So it's home upkeep articles, home decorating, still has some recipes in it. Now, the nice thing about us having the 4 different magazines, you will have access to all 4. So if 5 of your contacts would love that Start Healthy, but everyone else would want the Good to Be Home, you can have different contacts getting different magazines, or you can switch things up from mailing to mailing. But you'll always have the options, you have the variety with it. One thing I like to point out, we do the content in-house. So again, our creative team has been doing these magazines for 21 years now. They do a great job putting it together. Nothing controversial, no politics, no religion in here. You won't get any angry phone calls about the content. And the really nice thing is no advertisements. So I know sometimes you go through a magazine and every inch of every page has different businesses being featured, and then you get hidden on a corner page ad. Not the case here. This is entirely your publication, no other businesses or agents being featured. And then really one of the big reasons that it works so well, it doesn't have a ton of real estate in it. And for that reason, it comes off more as you're sending your clients a gift, an item of value, rather than sending them the in-your-face piece of marketing. Most importantly, it's fully customized to the agent. So going back to the front, I'll walk you guys through the customization points. So anywhere you see this wonderful stock photo model, Stacy Shanner, of course, that would be you guys. So as soon as the contacts pull this out of the mailbox, they know exactly who it's coming from, no question there. In terms of the imagery of that front cover, we do have about 25 to 30 different front cover designs to choose from. And with the front covers, we have a really wide variety. So some of them will actually be seasonal. So coming towards the fall, we'll have like the pumpkins, the fall foliage. And then just about every 2 months, there's some sort of theme or holiday options that we'll have. So for October coming up being Breast Cancer Awareness Month, we'll have some of the pink ribbon cover options coming into the fall edition. And then we always have some that are more standard and neutral. So what's nice is you could always choose to lean into the season, the holiday or theme, or you can keep things more neutral. There's tons of options for you there. Now, when they flip to the inside of the front cover, there's a letter to the recipient. And right at the top, it automatically says the contact's name. So Dear Bill and Judy, rather than a generic Dear Valued Resident. And with the letter itself, we always have a letter that we've written for you as a starting point. Most of our clients use our letter. It's not too cheesy or cookie cutter feeling. But then from there, you can edit the letter, you can write your own letter entirely, and it can even be customized down to an individual level. So if someone just had a baby or bought their first home with you, you can actually wish them a congratulations in the magazine. On the right side, you'll see one of the branded tear out cards. There's one in the front of the magazine, one in the back of the magazine, about the size of an oversized postcard. And we always try to make the content with these something that's useful. So the recipe cards are really popular, do-it-yourself tips around the home. There's about 600 options in total. And the nice thing is these all have your branding on them. So they can tear it out to give it to their friend that's thinking about buying a home, or maybe they keep it for themselves for the recipe. It's just one more way that we keep you in the home longer, extend that reach in the community. And then all the way to the back, you'll also have the full back cover, the full inside of the back cover, and there is that second tear out card. Now, with the back cover and the inside of the back cover, we'll have plug and play options for you there too. And this has hands down been the most popular back cover we've ever done. It is a listing lead source. So it'll say scan here to learn the value of your home. They scan that QR code, they punch their contact info in, and then that shoots you an email saying, hey, Barry, Bill and Judy at 123 Main Street just requested a home estimate from you. Here's their contact info. So this has been a great listing lead source. And then we also have one on the flip side that's for buyers, so they can scan it to schedule a buyer's consultation with you. So we have both sides of that covered. Now, these can also be blank canvases. That full back cover, the full inside of the back cover, even those 2 tear out cards. If there's anything else you'd like us to include, you could email over some client testimonials, success stories, listings. You could even do co-branding with like lender, title company. I had an agent a few weeks ago, she's hosting a 5K charity run. She had us do the course map back there and then a little write-up about the charity. So anything like that, we could always incorporate in the magazine for you. But that's really how it's laid out. So again, 48 pages, totally customized to the agent. And again, one of the really nice things of us having that team in Virginia, it has helped us fine tune some strategies. So a couple things that have been working really well for us. One is that letter that's on the inside of the front cover, because one thing that we've heard from a lot of agents over the years is it seems like a lot of folks are falling off from sending the little touches out for their contacts, birthdays, babies, weddings, home anniversaries. And the common thing we hear is it takes too much time. If you're driving to the store to buy a card, writing the card, stamps, trips to the post office, that can kind of feel like a full-time job within itself. It's super easy to do in the magazine. It's as simple as you click on their name, their letter pops right open, and you can start typing. Congratulations on the baby boy. Can't wait to meet him. Hit save, and that gets printed in their magazine. So really easy to do. And the whole reason I even bring it up, almost every single time our team is doing one of these, we're either getting a phone call or a text message back thanking us for it. So it definitely goes a long way, and it just gives you more communication between you and your contacts. The other thing that's working well for us is open houses. So our team will take a little stack of these magazines to the open house, and we almost use it like an elevated business card. It's a great first impression piece, and it helps you stand out. Because I know when my wife and I were buying our home, we would go to 6, 7 open houses in a weekend. And after the third or fourth one, everyone kind of has the same buyer's guides printed out from the office, the Vistaprint business cards, all kind of starts to melt together after a few. So I promise you'll be the only person with the 48-page custom magazine. And then if you want to take it a step further, what our team's been doing a lot, and looks like this agent at the top as well, we will do a cookie recipe for that front tear out card. We'll bake the cookies, bring them to the open house, and it's almost a guaranteed way they're going to take the magazine with them, but then also revisit it when they want to go make that cookie recipe. So that's been a fun little strategy our team's been using a lot. Now, on the flip side, you could also bring these to your listing presentations. So again, great first impression piece, but you could also let the prospect know, hey, I can actually feature your home in my magazine that goes out to my VIP contacts in the community. So it also gives you one more selling point for the listing presentations. And then a clever way our clients use these to get out in front of some new contacts outside of your personal network is taking them to high traffic local businesses. Because one thing that is true about everyone, including the folks buying and selling their home, is they still have to go to the doctor, the dentist, the car mechanic, the gym. I mean, those high traffic doctor's office waiting rooms, there could be 40, 50 new people each day coming through there. But the two that I hear the most from our clients, one is still the divorce attorney's office, unfortunately. If somebody's at the divorce attorney's office, there could be 1, 2, possibly 3 transactions coming up. And the other that we hear a lot is the hair salon. You know, if somebody's getting their hair done, they're telling the hairdresser everything going on in their lives. The hairdresser knows moving in town. So again, these can be some great places to be seen by some new folks outside of your personal network. And sticking to the local business theme, as I mentioned, you could do co-branding on the back cover and the inside of the back cover. And for the most part, we've always seen a lot of lender, title company, home warranty company with the co-branding. We are seeing more and more agents that are featuring other local businesses. And it's kind of as a way to form a strategic referral partnership in the community. And if you are giving the local mom and pop shop a little publicity in a magazine, they typically want to reciprocate, and that comes in the form of referrals. So you can always feature other local businesses in addition to the lenders, the title company on your back cover as well. So it's a great way to form some relationships with other businesses in the community. And then the last little bell and whistle I want to go over with you guys, we have a likely to move report that's now included with the services. So when you send over a contact list, our marketing coaches go through and look at their household income, how much equity they have in their homes, and even the behavioral data of the websites and apps they're using. The report's been 24% accurate on picking contacts moving the next 6 months to a year. And I won't lie, when I first heard the 24%, I thought that doesn't sound that great. But then I thought about it from our client's perspective. And if we could, sorry, Barry, we got 4 contacts here. We can guarantee one of them is moving this year. I think that that's information that anyone in real estate would want right now. So a lot of our clients, they'll actually send over a big chunk or their entire database ahead of time. We run it on everyone, and then you just put a checkbox next to the ones you want us to mail a magazine to. So it's almost a little creepy, but it has taken some of the guesswork out of which of the contacts we should keep a close eye on. And then I always like to finish up here. There are a lot of things you could do for marketing when it comes to real estate. I always start on the right side. So like the newsletters, the flyers, the postcards, the emails. These things are great. They all serve a purpose. But I'm sure everyone in the meeting right now gets postcards in their own mailbox from other businesses. And I know I keep the trash can by the door for a reason. On the left side, the dinners, the bottles of wine, the gift cards, these are great gestures. Your clients will love them. They make great closing gifts. But if we are trying to take every one of our clients and contacts on a quarterly dinner, we will all go broke along the process. So the nice thing is we're falling right here in the middle. It's half the price of a Hallmark card. but it is being seen as a gifted item of value. So it's making it past the trash, hits the coffee table, the nightstand next to the bed, and it stays there for 6 weeks on average. So you basically have a mini billboard in their living room for the next month and a half. So that is the concept behind it. The next thing I have for you guys is just the office promotion that we're going to run for the next week here. But before we get to the pricing, I just want to see what kind of questions you had on the magazines, the customization, who it's going out to. And again, if there are any clients that want to share thoughts and work with us, feel free.
Anyone have questions, comments? Oh. Dailies, are you still on?
Yes.
You use these services? Do you have a testimonial or anything about it that you want to share?
I do the magazine and I do their postcards, and I really, really like the quality of the magazines, and I really enjoy sending them out. I have done it for 1 year now. I just completed my first year, and I don't know that I've gotten any sales directly from it, but I will say that I get conversations about it. I get clients and friends that will call me and say, "Oh, I just got your magazine. I'm excited to try the recipes," or "I just got your magazine and you've got an article about painting and we have to paint our house this year. So that's super timely," things like that. So they're definitely getting noticed, and people are definitely interested in them. But I also found it was important to go through and talk to my database about it, because if they're under 40, they don't look at magazines anymore. So it just kind of depends on, I think it's important to know your database and ask people if they really want it and follow up. It's a great way to contact your database. It's not a cold call. You can, if you haven't talked to them for a while, but you send them the magazine, you can call up and say, "Hey, I I hope you're enjoying the magazine. Did you see the article on whatever? And what did you think about that?" Or you can call them up before the magazine's coming out, because you've got plenty of lead time, when they're coming, and you can say, "Hey, this magazine's coming out and this particular article made me think of you. You might want to look for it to come in your mail." So I definitely think it's a great marketing piece, even though I will say that I don't think I've gotten any direct sales out of it. It has been a good way to keep in touch.
All right,
Yeah, it's a
thanks.
great way, like you mentioned, that you actually erased one of the slides I was going to go through. It's a great way to use as a follow-up tool. It gives you that reason to call, gives you that organic conversation starter. So it's always really great for that. So yeah, I appreciate you sharing that feedback from your clients. And yeah, the promotion that we're going to run for the next week here, it's pretty simple. There's 3 things that we're going to tie together for the next week. So the big discount that we're doing is the activation fee. So usually it's the $300 to get set up with us. We're going to drop it down to just $99. So it's a one-time $99 setup fee. It's good for life. And this gets you in line with one of our marketing coaches. So the marketing coach, it is a real person, not a robot, not an AI system. They work with you through the entire process. So you can kind of think of them like your personal assistant here. Really what we need over the next few weeks is send over any photos or information about yourself that you want included, and then the list of the contacts that you want it to be mailed to. We'll put the magazine together, we mail it out for you. It's really easy, it's really turnkey. And then one thing I love is we work off of exclusivity with recipient lists. So no duplicates coming from other agents or financial advisors. When you send those contacts over, we lock them down in the system. It will just be coming from you. The second incentive moving to the right is the cost of the magazines. Usually these get priced off of the sliding scale. The more you buy, lower the cost. We're just going to give everyone the bulk rate. It's $4.99 per magazine, and that covers everything. So the shipping and handling, the customization is all included. So again, for half the price of a Hallmark card, you get a 48-page custom magazine. We mail it right to the contacts for you. So we do cover all that postage. And the minimum order is just 50 magazines. So you could start pretty small with it. So the 50 times the $4.99 comes out to be $249. And the nice thing is you don't pay for the magazines today. You're billed for the magazines 30 days out, or if you'd like to mail sooner, the week of the mailing. And we do have mailing options for you every single week, so you can work at your own pace and pick your own deadline with this. And then with that 6-week shelf life that we average, we have new magazines available every 2 months. So 6 times a year total of new magazines available. And then the last thing is, it is no contract. So we would love to earn your business for the long term. And the best way to do that is to get you some great feedback and, more importantly, some referrals. We know if we can accomplish that, I'm sure you guys will gladly keep us around for some future mailings. So the last thing I want to wrap up with is going to this giant QR code. They started letting us do a little day of the presentation flash sale. So if anyone is thinking about trying this out coming into the fall, anyone that signs up today, if you scan this QR code, you'll get a 15 free magazine credit towards the first mailing. So anyone that hops on board today, if you scan that code, you'll get 15 magazines on us. It knocks off an extra $75 off the first order. So instead of being the $249, that first order of 50 magazines would be just under $174. So I know we always have questions on the pricing and the logistics of the promotions. What questions did you guys have overall?
We don't have any questions on our end, Seth, but thank you for the presentation, and we have
Absolutely.
follow up. I'm going to follow up with Glenn too. If there's, we can do something more with it.
Perfect. Does anyone need the QR code before I take the screen down?
No, we're good. We got it. I have a recording.
All right, perfect, Barry. Well, I'll send a little recap email too. So if you guys do need anything, I'll put all my contact in that email for you guys.
All right. Thank you, Seth.
All right, thanks again, guys. Talk to you soon.
Amy, did you have something? Should we let her?
So fast.
I think we should.
I'll be so quick. I'm so like. Okay, so really fast. Are any of you guys members of EOS Fitness? A couple.
Mhm.
Okay, so my son started working there, and so I bumped my way in with his managers and started talking to them and told them about how I work for this really big, huge corporation, Keller Williams, and how we have tons of agents and they should like totally hook us up with a really cool discount. And they said, oh yeah, like what would you like? So I got them to give us a really cool discount, and I wanted to give you guys just a little bit of an insight as to what it is. So it's $1 to start instead of $99, and it's $24.99 a month for their highest level. But here's the cool stuff that they threw in for us. So you get VIP guests for life. So you can always bring someone with you. You could always bring your spouse, which basically means 2 memberships for one, or you can always bring somebody, anybody that you want for free. So it's basically 2 memberships in one. And it's month to month, so no crazy contract that you're signing. You can do it as long as you want. And what was the other really cool thing that I wanted to hit on? Month to month, complimentary, free childcare. I work out at home. I have a home gym, so I always work out at home. I'm gonna do it just for the cryo suits, the massage and the sauna for the recovery. So that's kind of what I want it for. And then I'll probably use their weights and stuff. But so if whoever signs up in the first 30 days, you're locked in for as long as you want it to be. But they're only leaving it open for 30 days and unless I can get them 50 memberships. If I can get them 50 memberships, they're gonna keep it as a corporate discount for us for life. So this does not exist if you go to EOS and say, hey, I want the Keller Williams corporate discount. It does not exist. Nobody knows about it. It only exists through this QR code that they sent me. So I put this on our Facebook page. I emailed it out to everyone. If you want to, I can text it to you personally. But if you sign up through the link here or the QR code, that's how you get the discount. Or you can take this into them and say, this is the link for the discount I want to sign up with. But this is the only way it exists because they made it literally just for us. But it is good for all of our friends and family. So if your son and all of his buddies want to go sign up, they can sign up with this link. If your neighbor and her walking group want to sign up, they can do it with this link. So it's good for anybody you know. They just have to do it with this link and it'll count towards our 50. So anyways, kind of cool. Just want to make sure everybody knows about it. Also, if you are already a member of EOS, you can take this link in. If it saves you money, they will switch your membership over to this one. It'll count toward our 50 and it'll save you money. So cool. Thanks.
Thanks. Go ahead. Rob.
Okay, cool. Thanks.
Yep.
Hey, Brock here with Cross Country. So I left all of you that are present with a flyer. It's about one of our bridge loan features. So we have multiple different types of bridge loans that apply to different scenarios for different clients. This is one example where they can pull up to $700,000 out of the equity in their existing residence. And there are different things here. This one would enable a person to pay cash if it fits within that 700 grand, or if they can cover the difference. We have other ones where people might need financing, and they may need to, like I talked about last week, they may need to omit the payments from qualifying to buy the new one first before they sell the other one. So that's the big kick we're on this month. We have also, beyond this bridge loan, legit bridge loan that we do in-house, which makes it nice and easy, we have an instant equity HELOC. So you can get a HELOC within, like, you can get approval same day and funds in your bank account within 5 days. So it's like super quick, AI generated, very convenient. We've closed dozens of them. I don't know how many, but a lot of them. And that goes up to 750 grand and even qualifies for second home and investment properties. So people can leverage that equity to buy before they sell. And then we stack that onto our other program that enables them to exclude those payments from qualifying. So they can legitimately buy before they sell, no complications, no obscene bridge loan fees, which are often $10, $20, $30, $50,000. We avoid all of that. Maybe they pay a little bit, but anyway, that's number one. Number two is every month we do a market update. This is available on loanselevated.com. That's our hub for everything that we work our butts off to deliver for you realtors. It's literally a website that was designed to bring value to you guys and therefore share with your clients. This is on there. You can share it with your clients. It's a quick, like 2-minute video. What's going on with rates? What's going on with the market? What is a cool program that's out right now that can help generate business? The one we're promoting, as you might imagine, is the bridge loan alternative that I just talked about. So I encourage you, leverage that, share it. But one little piece that is a takeaway, and the reason we do these bite-sized little content pieces is so that hopefully somebody responds or calls you or texts you and says, dang, I didn't know that. Can you tell me more about this? And then you're fueled with the scripting to convert that person into an actual buyer, because that's what we all need right now. One of those things that I didn't actually say in the video, I probably should have, thinking about it now. I did say that rates improved, and they improved somewhere between 1/4 and 0.5%, depending on the program. Between 1/4 and 0.5% on the average home in Utah, that's $125 to $250 a month savings, which means it's somewhere in the range of $20,000 to $50,000 in additional buying power just in the past 2 weeks. I bet you your clients that are buyers don't know about that, because it's kind of just become a numb point where people are like, I don't qualify, so forget it. That's not the case. So I encourage you, leverage our stuff. Lean on us. We'll coach your clients through this. We don't charge for applications or consultations. We just coach your clients through it and help them see what is possible. So anyway, loanselevated.com, Cross Country Mortgage. We do a bunch of bridge loan options that I know you all need. Please lean on us, and we're happy to help any way we can. Thanks.
I know, we're getting there. Barry's- Yeah, I'm gonna talk really fast. Put me on 1.5.
Hey, it's Brock Lassick here with the Lassick team at Cross Country Mortgage with your
Okay. All right, guys. Everybody ready? Not diving into advertising yet, but just going to give you a heads up. Who needs C? Who wants to learn something about seller financing? Based on the amount of calls I get every week when it comes to seller financing, maybe consider coming to this. This Thursday, 9 to 12, okay? Anybody need the QR code? Got it? Oop. All right, Barry. I got to hit the arrow. How do I get rid of, there we go. All right, I can do this. 2025 Real Estate Expo, Tuesday, August 26th, 10 to 1, Thanksgiving Point Red Barn. You want to serve your clients better? This is your edge. Anybody need the QR code? We'll keep that going here over the next couple of weeks. Any golfers in here that are going to play in the golf tournament? Okay. All right. I recognize that face. Practices and advertising, and then, oops, we're not done yet. I got to go through some of this stuff. Barry, did you say my document is on here somewhere? I gave you guys a handout. It's pretty thick. Promise you we won't go through all of it, okay? But get As you can imagine, I get a lot of questions about advertising. What can we do? What can't we do? How do we stay in compliance with the division? So this document that you have here, thank you, Barry. I got to give a shout out to our former principal broker, Rich Summers. I've kind of edited this. This is something Rich put together and we've had over the past few years where it's kind of color coded. Guys, read through that. You can take this for you as a resource. The red is the Utah Administrative Code, right? Think division, blue, Code of Ethics, and then purple, or whatever color that is, purplish pink, or MLS Clear Cooperation, pink for contract. So a couple different colors on it. But let's just hit some of these real quick. Is an agent responsible for the advertising your seller does? What do you think? Okay, have anybody ever had a seller that, you took a listing on it and they start advertising their property? It doesn't happen too often, right? But just be aware of it. Inside your listing agreement, guys, read the contracts, have a good understanding of your listing agreement. Let the seller know if they do anything, they need to have you approve it. Okay? You're the marketing expert, you're the listing agent, so just keep that one in mind. What does clearly and conspicuously identifying the advertisement and the name of the brokerage really entail? Okay, talks about the old requirement. I get this a lot, guys, on what needs to be on all of your advertising. The brokerage, more specifically. What is our brokerage? KWSV. It's not Keller Williams South Valley. It's not KW South Valley. It might. I'll stay tuned for that. I might get KW South Valley. KW South Valley Keller Williams. Does the division care about your name? No, not really. Your licensee. It's just what affiliated business you're with. We used to have this, if you were a team or you had your logo on it, had to be half the size. It's not the case. It just needs to be clear and conspicuous. What does that mean, guys? If I look at an ad, if you look at an ad within 3 to 5 seconds, the general public should be able to link out, whether they care or not, what brokerage you're affiliated with. So use the logo, KW South Valley Keller Williams, or write out KW South Valley Keller Williams. Okay. Which leads into how should the brokerage name be disclosed online if there's not enough space for it? Okay, so what's the division? When it's not reasonable for a licensee to identify the name of the brokerage in an electronic advertisement, think like a video or a reel or something like that, licensee shall ensure the electronic advertisement directly links to a display that clearly and conspicuously identifies the name of the brokerage. Make sense? The one-click rule that we talk about. Here's one thing that I see agents on social media, they have their social media, let's just say it's John Doe, and then John Doe posts, hey, I saw a really cool property for sale today, and here's the details on it. Okay, nowhere is the brokerage. That's where people are getting in trouble with the division. So on your, you don't have to, you can still have, like I have my personal thing, Mike Carmody use Facebook. We have a Mike Carmody group business, Facebook business thing. But on my own, if I decide to put out some information on a property or talk something about real estate or, asking for referrals or whatever it may be, I just need to make sure that I'm, even do the hashtag KW South Valley Keller Williams. Make sense? Just make sure within clearly and conspicuously. Okay, let's keep going through and you guys, I'll hit questions at the end if there's anything we need to take a deep dive on. So we talk about what do you do on Facebook and tweets and stuff like that. Number 4, abbreviations for the brokerage name permitted. No. Rich had put this together, straightforward. The name of the brokerage is KW South Valley Keller Williams. It's not Keller Williams South Valley. It's not KW Keller Williams. It's not Keller Williams. It's not KW South Valley, right? Those are all the things not to do. No modification. No modification. I'd like to say you can. The division says you can't. Okay. One thing, if you guys are doing referral documents, and I talked to the TCs about this and on all your contracts, when you're auto-populating from the multiple listing service, just double check. It's going to have KW South Valley Keller Williams in there. If you're doing a referral agreement, you're initiating it, and you're sending a referral to an agent in Orlando, and you're initiating the referral and you're sending it to me for a signature, please put the proper name. Don't just put Keller Williams South Valley. Okay, so just double check those, make my life a little bit easier. I'd appreciate it. Does a real estate team need to advertise the brokerage name, or is the team name sufficient? What do you guys think? Yeah. Let's do both. You're going to have the team on it. You're going to have the brokerage name on it. Real clear. The division doesn't really look at it. Just it's all the broker you're affiliated with. Let's see. Here's one Bobby talk. Is an agent allowed to advertise inducement gifts to attract new clients? I fielded a lot of questions lately because I think it's getting popular of, okay, I want to do an open house this Saturday and I want to do a drawing at that. And I want to be able to advertise on TikTok or whatever, Instagram. First 5 people that show up can be entered to win 2 tickets to the Parade of Homes. Can I do that? What do you guys think?
Mike, can I chime in?
Please do.
So my thought process is if you're advertising it in conjunction with the open house and you're trying to drive traffic to your open house, that's not advertising for new business. That's advertising for your seller.
I
Does the
agree.
division see it differently?
No, I think you're fine. I think you're fine. I've been told, because of state laws and stuff with raffles, I wouldn't use, but just do a drawing. I think you're fine to do that, guys. Just again, on any advertisement for your open houses or the first, 10 people to show up, get a complimentary gift, that type of stuff. Don't see any problem with it. I don't see any issue that the division has with it. Just make sure that you have what? In your advertisement. Name of the brokerage, right? Okay. So yeah, not a problem to do that. And again, I'm always happy to field questions on that. That one's, pretty easy. You can do that too. Now, inducements, an inducement gift is permissible and it's not an illegal sharing of commission. I think inducements is really for your buyer. I guess you could induce sellers, but with sellers, you're not dealing with a mortgage lender. You're like, hey, if you want to tell people you'll take listings this month at % instead of whatever your rate is, that's an inducement. That's fine. Just sign it as that. Where inducements come into it would be more for the buyer side. Okay. So you're wanting to say, use my services and I will give you $3,000 of my commission towards your closing cost. Can you do that? Keys, if the lender allows, talks about complies with the underwriting guidelines that apply to any loan in the transaction. So you better have an asterisk on there, say conditions apply. It's subject to the lender. If the lender says doesn't allow it, you can't give them. You can't do it. You can buy them a nice closing gift, but you can't do it. Janet?
One of those home mailers, they advertised a free cruise to, if you became if they sold your home.
Mhm.
And that's okay.
That'd be fine.
Okay.
Just if there's any term, if it's for the buyer side of it, on a listing side, don't see a problem. You're giving a gift to that client on it. If it's on the buyer side or it's going to be inside the transaction, it needs to be subject to lender approval. The lender needs to approve it. We clear on that? Okay. Advertising any inducement gift is allowed as long as it is disclosed and permitted by the loan underwriter. And what it says and I'm sure a page number on here, guys. When advertising an inducement, you should mention that it's subject to approval from the loan underwriter. This is required. If the underwriter doesn't approve the inducement, then you'll be unable to give the gift as an inducement gift. Okay. Where it says, let me explain what is allowed under this. Okay, so let's just read through this. First, if you want to give a closing gift to a buyer or seller after the transaction is closed, you're allowed to do so. Okay, because the Utah code states that a closing gift means any gift given by the principal broker or licensee affiliated with the principal broker to a buyer, seller, lessor, lessee, in appreciation for having used the services of real estate brokerages. And the Utah code says closing gift is permissible and is not an illegal sharing of commission. So if you have a seller, you want to give them a gift, there's no really dollar amount. You could do whatever you want. You can give them that cruise. With a buyer, same thing after closing. You guys clear on that? The only thing I will say is I've been told, and I'm not an accountant, but I think you can only deduct up to $250 to take it as a tax deduction. So I don't think you can buy a cruise for $5,000 and deduct it, but talk to your accountant.
I thought that gifts for I thought the $250 applied to a gift for a referral.
I think it's for both.
Okay, so your closing gift is not you can only deduct $250,000 worth, but you can spend more than that if you want to.
You can spend more than that if you want to. Consult with your accountant if to make sure that you're okay
Closing gifts.
with, yeah, purchase closing gifts. And as long as, are they valued more than $250? You're under 250. So consult with your accountant. Brokerage is not giving you any tax or legal advice on that, but a closing gift, guys, closing gift, I tell you, kind of do whatever you want. So as it says here, you want to surprise your buyer or seller with a new bike, computer, swing set. The only consideration I would mention is that you may want to check with your principal broker, see if your broker has any policies. That was kind of Rich's on there. I don't have any policy with it. Use your own discretion. Okay. Second, if you want to
Mike.
advertise and incentivize the use of your real estate services, may an agent do that? Short answer is yes. Again, when we're talking about gifting, this type of gift is classified as an inducement gift. Again, anything given out there needs to be disclosed and it could be subject to underwriting approval. Let me make sure that I'm not repeating myself. Somewhere in here I did, okay, so this one here, and Realtor advertises that we're, sorry, blah, 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 blah. Simply say that it was checked with underwriter. Okay, we'll go to the buyer, Bob. Buyer Bob uses Rhonda Realtor to help purchase home. Rhonda does a great job and Bob raves to everyone about her. Bob's sister Sally also decides to use Rhonda, the Realtor, based on Bob's recommendation. May Rhonda Realtor give Bob a gift of appreciation for their referral? Yes. Subject may properly give valued at $250. That's the thing. So you're sending me as an agent, my cousin refers, who's unlicensed, refers me to a coworker. I help that coworker out. I'm able to give my cousin a $250 gift. And that's what I can do that. Make sense? Can I advertise, can I tell my cousin, hey, send me referrals and I'll give you $250 for every referral you send me? No, we can't do that. Division.
Mike?
Comment on Zoom?
Yes, I just wanted to throw out there, I think it's important for people to check with their CPAs also before they're giving out the gifts, not just because of the write-off total amount as far as the division allows us, but also because, and I could have this wrong, but I believe that if it's anything over $25 and it's not branded, then not because of division rules, but because of IRS rules, they don't like to allow you to write it off. If it's branded, the rules are different than if it's non-branded, because the IRS tax write-off rules are different than the division rules as far as that limit. So that's just something to consider. Talk to your CPA.
Talk to your CPA, right? Brokerage isn't giving you any tax or legal advice. But good point. Yeah, talk to your CPA. If you're going to order a bunch of mugs and stuff like that and you spend $2,000 on them, can you deduct that? Is it considered a giveaway? Does it have to be branded? Is there a certain percentage? Kind of that different between like taking somebody to dinner, marketing. Yep. So talk to your CPA. Thank you, Daylise. Okay. So we got that between the inducements and being able to reward people. Just be aware of it, guys, right? Don't be putting out on the billboard, refer a business to me and I'll pay you $500. You can't do it. You're going to get in trouble. Okay. Still has to do with advertisement. How many owners of a property need to sign a listing agreement before the agent is allowed to advertise the property? I heard it from the front row and I hope everybody's saying that. Everybody. Hey guys, I do field a lot of questions all the time with people signing agreements and there's more than one person on title. What's the best way to find out before you go out to meet with a family that has a house to sell and go do your listing presentation? What's one thing you should maybe do? Yeah. Number one, check county, right? You know how to do that on the MLS. Go look and see. That's not always it. Like a lot of times I'll see Jane Doe et al. Okay, tells me that there might be more. Sometimes it gets cut off. Simple phone call to your favorite escrow officer. Hey, could you just take a look at this and tell me? Yeah, it looks like it's husband and wife as joint tenants, or it looks like it's in a trust. Okay, if it's in a trust, what do you do? Find out who's, and what is that person called? It's a trustee, right? A lot of times we're dealing with it where Jane Doe living trust, Jane passes away. You know, maybe her husband was deceased 5-10 years ago. It's still in the Jane Doe trust. Jane passes away. Okay, that trust document, you got to know who you're talking to. I usually get a call from one of the kids and say, hey, Mike, would like to talk to you. You know, mom passed away, want to sell the house. And you would be surprised how often people are confused with who's the actual successor trustee. So don't be afraid to ask them for a copy of the trust. If you don't know what you're looking at, hey, I'd like to get you, can you get in touch with my escrow officer? They're going to look at the trust. There's certain documents that they will need in it to close that transaction. Okay. I'm not giving them legal advice or anything like that. But I know that with a trust, I need to determine a successor trustee. How about with, it's not in a trust. There was one person on title, that person's deceased, and you get a call from that deceased person's daughter, you know, or used to work with her, and she says, I need to sell the house. Well, if it's not in a trust, what do you know has to happen? Right. Right. And where does that come from, though? A will? So if it says it in a will that bequeath my property, what still has to happen? Heard it. Probate. Probate. Just think probate. It's either in a trust or it's got to go through probate. Okay.
Their name is the senior. He died. It's only the senior's name. They said we don't have to go to probate because junior has the same name, so you can sign for senior with the same name.
Yeah.
We can't hear on Zoom.
They get, how about now? Oh, sorry, you can't hear the other people. Okay, we'll try to, right. So just make sure, again, I'm not an attorney, but I know enough on it. I rely heavily on my time, but I know if it's in a trust, I got to find the right successor trustee. Sometimes there's successor trustees. Hopefully not the case. But if somebody's deceased, you guys, probate has to happen, right? And sometimes it can take a little bit while, but just know, the other one too is I get a call from a friend that, hey, dad passed away a couple years ago. Mom just passed away. I've got power of attorney for mom. I'd like to list the house. Do you sense a problem with that? Yeah, very simply, if somebody's deceased, the power of attorney no longer works. And sometimes they just don't understand that. They're, you know, in grief, whatever. So we help guide them through it. Gonna point you to your escrow officer to help you determine the best course of action. And then sometimes, you know, just tell them I relate to, hey, just, you know, Google the county, find a probate attorney and stuff like that. But understand that we get anxious, we want to do this kind of stuff. Make sure you have the right signers on there, because if you don't have all the signers on it, I've had this happen to myself, mistake I made years ago. 2 people getting divorced. I knew the lady, she hired me, and I just looked and I started listing the house and put it on the market and sold it. And I got a call from a not very happy soon-to-be ex-husband. And I found out very quickly that I learned my lesson on that. Okay, you know, it worked out. I just basically delisted the property, but I got my hand slapped by my broker to be like, okay, use your head. Okay, so. Okay, another one here, section 8, is a buyer's agent allowed to advertise a property they sold the property? In short, yes, you can. Okay. You and the listing agent through the MLS, we get this. Yes, both the listing agent and buyer's agent may advertise that they sold the property. Okay. Agent's responsibility regarding displaying a true picture of advertising. I don't need to go into this too much unless you've got some, but guys, you know, read through it and understand it. We have to give a true picture of it. Sometimes our sellers want us to bluff a few things. Okay, we got to stand our ground and just, you know, we got a code of ethics. We have rules from the division, true picture and advertising. If you're modifying photos a lot, I'm just going to tell you, don't do it. I mean, we've all had that. You look at the pictures on it, then you walk in the house and you're like, whoa. Yeah, if you're doing virtual staging, my recommendation is to cover you guys on every property that, every picture. Maybe you have regular ones and then you've got, hey, this is what it could look, put a watermark on it that it's virtually staged. Truth in advertising, okay? Let's see if you guys see anything here you want some clarification on. One. I'm going to bring you to, we're going to go to the second page in section 8 where it says, let me illustrate with a simple example. Listing realtor advertises the seller's property in the inclusion section. Okay, so visualize this. In the inclusion section on the MLS, the listing realtor marks that the hot tub is included. The buyer submits an offer that is accepted by the seller. The Rep C does not mention the hot tub. When the buyer conducts their final walkthrough, the buyer notices that the hot tub is missing. The sellers have sold it to someone else on KSL. And you can read down, get the answer. I can ask you, who's the hot tub belong to? Good point. What do you mean? I know the answer to it. What do you mean? Mario's right. It's not on the rep, but it was on the advertisement right here on the MLS. I showed my folks right here on the MLS is included. What was that again, Amy?
It's being stated that it can be included. It's advertised it can be included. It's not included unless it's on the contract.
What Amy had said for those of you on Zoom, if it's not, basically in short, if it's not on the Rep C, hot tub's not included. Okay. I actually run into this quite a bit, so that's why I wanted to spend a little time talking about it today, guys. If you're representing a buyer and if you see in the agent remarks, back patio furniture, all that, think of it this way. That MLS sheet is not connected in any way, shape, or form contractually to the real estate purchase contract. So that being the case, as a buyer's agent, I have fiduciary duties of reasonable care to my client to make sure to go through with that. When I write an offer on the MLS, you guys follow me through, I go in and I put it in, I put in the MLS number and it auto-populates my offer, right? It's usually going to bring over the inclusions and exclusions. It doesn't bring anything from agent remarks that talks about a hot tub or a gazebo or anything like that. I need to physically add that in. So when I'm writing an offer with a buyer, I'm looking at the MLS sheet. My clients probably already have a copy because I give it to them and I look through writing the offer. Here's what they've included. Here's what they've excluded. Are you good with that? They also mentioned in this example that in the agent remarks where they put hot tub is included. They may have meant to do it and you might find, but in this case where the hot tub is gone, hey, buyer's agent didn't put it in there. So listing agent, it's not my job to call and ask you. It's not in the contract. My seller says, hey, should we just sell this? Sure, go ahead.
If they don't remove something that you don't want on the property, like they leave the hot tub and you definitely did not want it, can you require them to come back and get it or pay the price for
That's
removal?
a great question. Should they get rid of it contractually? Yeah. Can I, as your principal broker, force them to do it? Can you, as an agent, force them to do it? We either try to work it out and put some pressure on the listing and that. Otherwise, what's your option? What is your buyer's option? The hot tub is left there. Seller's like, yeah, I ain't moving it. Addendum, there's no contract. Contract's abrogated. It's closed. It's already closed. There'd be some guys, what you call me and tell me on them. I'm gonna tell you if we can't work it out, I'm happy to call the other agent and the broker. And I've been in that situation. Whereas, hey, I agree with you. I'm the listing broker and I'm the listing agent, and I agree. Yeah, seller should have took it. Seller's living in California. They ain't coming back to get it, and they're not answering my phone calls. Your buyer's option at that point, I'm usually going to go, what did the contract say for dispute resolution? Did you check shall or may? Well, if it says may, then theoretically we got to get both of you to agree to pay for mediation. They normally don't want to do that. The quickest way then would be the buyer would have to go to small claims court. And they would probably win, and they'd probably get a judgment for money to remove it or something like that. None of us wants to deal with that, right? Usually 9 times out of 10, we can get this solved. you said on the flip side of it, when you're the listing agent and you receive an offer and you got your advertisements down there, double check your stuff, guys, on these inclusions, okay? Because you know what I'm talking about when they check the boxes and it's plural and it says refrigerators? Your client's only thinking the one in the, I can guarantee you, your client's only thinking the one in the kitchen. They're thinking, well, yeah, when I included on our MLS advertisement, we're leaving the fridge, they weren't talking about the two of them that they have in their huge garage. Trust me, that's what your client's thinking. And it comes in and you have them sign it and it's check plural, and then they go to close, and then you got to tell them that, hey, oh shoot, that was plural. You got to leave all 3 refrigerators. They're not very happy with you. And then you call me, and then I tell you to get your checkbook out and buy 2 refrigerators. So just
Mike?
slow down, take a look at the contracts and verify. Question on Zoom?
Yeah, I just was gonna add a comment. I actually had a situation recently where I had a buyer agent, and the MLS listing said the house had central vac. And when I got ready to put together the actual offer, I was asking the listing agent about central vac because the buyer hadn't seen the outlets for it. And she was like, the house doesn't have central vac. And I'm like, well, I didn't think it did, but your listing says it does. And she was like, what? Show it to me. And she says, I don't know what I clicked or touched or what. She goes, I don't know how that even got on there. So I think it's important to not just things for appliances and whatnot, but something like central vac where somebody's, expecting an expensive system. Sometimes it's just really is a mistake. It's not intentional.
Yep.
And so it's just worth our time to be a good fiduciary and just clarify stuff. Absolutely.
Good point. So it's not very hard if I'm the buyer's agent and Tammy's the listing agent for me to, I know this is a novel idea, guys. Instead of sending Tammy a text, maybe I pick up the phone. Or I text Tammy, hey, do you got 2 minutes? I got an interested party. Got 2 minutes to talk about your listing? More than likely, Tammy's going to say, sure. I'm going to give Tammy a call. Hey, I'm getting ready to, I just want to verify everything on here. It looks like you've got refrigerator. I noticed there's 2 of them, and then there's a freezer, and there's all this stuff in the garage, and there's a gazebo. Tell me about that. Is there, you got in the agent remarks that you're willing to leave the hot tub or negotiable? I can have a conversation with Tammy and kind of get that all cleared up. Then I can quickly go back and I can write the offer and tell, hey, I talked to the listing agent, and she said, depending on the offer, they'll leave the hot tub. So let's ask for it. But you know what? It was really important to the seller that when they said refrigerator, it's just the one in the kitchen. So let's not muddy it up and let them take their 2 refrigerators in the garage. Can I write a better offer? I would think so. And can I clear that up with having a conversation with the listing agent? Just a thought. Okay. A couple more down here. How many days after creating agency with the seller does the listing need to be published on the Utah real estate? This is right there. I talk about this, and I still get, every week I get agents, because I get CC'd on the email where you've listed it, and I'm not telling anybody in this room. Guys, I did it twice last year myself, so I get forgetful. I take a listing, I forget to go on the MLS input form, which is the online form, to do the listing exclusion, because I know I'm not going to have it on there in 5 days. Why do they have the 5 days? It's actually a good rule. Because it used to be an agent would go out, I meet with the sellers, I'd sign the contract on a Friday night, and then Monday morning I'm taking off. I'm heading to Florida for 10 days, and I'm out of town having a good time. The seller thinks their house is on the market, and I'm just out lollygagging. I never did that, but. And then a month later, the agent's back, oh, okay, hey, I'm just getting your paperwork, right? Okay, not cool. So the MLS said, hey, you got 5 days to get it on there.
Date on the contract. That would solve all of this.
The date, what is the date on the what's the effective listing date? The date your client sign it. You guys need to sign it same day. We tried that trick for a while. Well, my client signed it. I'll sign it in 2 weeks when I'm ready to know. That's fine.
So it could be agreed upon in the contract what day the listing goes live.
You don't have to.
But in addendum.
Right. Just as I tell you on this, do an addendum for every listing that you take. If you're not going to have it on the MLS in 5 days, now this may change, but for right now, safest way, I do an addendum and it says one item on it. Seller instructs the company, which is the brokerage, that's how we are referred, or you could put seller instructs listing brokerage to not to submit the property to the MLS until it is ready to be publicly marketed. And then I let them go do their thing. Now, what I have to do within 5 days is what? Where do I submit the thing? Go up MLS forms and I put the exclusion form in and I put all the accurate data on it. I do that within 5 days, goes to the MLS, they send me a receipt. So 30 days from now, when I list it, I don't get an email from the MLS saying, here's your $250 fine, because it was in the system. When I activate it, their system goes, does it have an MLS exclusion form in our system? If it doesn't, you're going to get the fine email. And like I did twice last year, because I forgot, telling on myself as your principal broker, swore I did it. I think I did it on one, but I called them and then finally they agreed and they started sending email confirmations. But what did the MLS ask me? They said, just show us a copy that you had written permission. You can't just do the form. You have to have written permission from your seller. So I just send them a copy. Yep, sorry, no problem, fine waived.
Mike,
On an addendum, or can I have an email or a text from a client?
Written is going to be
Agreed
signed
to
by your
that.
seller. So I don't care if it's on a napkin. It's easier to put it on an addendum. Remember the old MLS exclusion form, the PDF? It's still floating around. Some people have it. Don't ask me for a copy. I don't have one. Use an addendum.
Huh.
Written permission from your seller. It's
Oh.
the easiest, guys. Just carry an addendum to your listing agreement on it or some other type of paper that has written permission from your seller that it's going to be withheld. It's not going to be on the market within that first 5 days. Okay, everybody clear on that? I still get that a lot. I know it's a little bit confusing. It's just, that is, yeah, 5 days, okay? Okay, is the
Mike,
agent allowed to
ask a
use the
clarifying question?
question? Go ahead, Zoom.
Yeah, just sorry, clarifying question. Does that apply if you're on multiple MLS boards? Does that apply only to the home? I mean, to the market that the home is located in? So like if you're in a market like in Southern Utah and you choose not to put it down there or you put it on there later, does that apply differently? Excuse me, because it's not, the home is not in that market, but you're just choosing to advertise it down there as well?
That is a great, I think it does. I think everybody has the same rules, and this is a good opportunity. It won't take up a lot of time, but I'm gonna say, guys, as your broker, I am a member of the Washington County Board and hence the Flex MLS. That allows any agent in this brokerage to join. You don't have to join the board down there. You can join as an individual. If you want to do business down there, you can join the MLS. I'm going to just tell you, I don't have the time and the ability to stay current with all the rules and regulations of the Flex. I don't know how to use the Flex MLS. I personally don't do business down there. So to circle back, Daylise, with your question, to verify, I'd ask you to call a Washington County Board or a Flex MLS to make sure you're in compliance. Does that help? I
Yeah.
got enough, just a regular board. I know most of the ins and outs on it, guys, but I'm a member so you guys can be. Same with Park City. I am actually now a member of the Park City Board and the Flex MLS. I just tell you, you guys have to join and pay the fees. You have fees if you're going to do business up there. There's a cost of doing business. But Daylise, I do believe it's the same thing whether you're dealing with it here, because I think all of our local boards subscribe to the same 5-day. But when in doubt, just pick up the phone and give them a call if you're a member. They're happy to help you. Because I think the same with,
Okay.
we go into this real quick. Clear, I'll just go to number 12, clear cooperation. You guys know that's the within the 1 day, okay? That's the one that's getting all the attention in the media. That may change. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what our local boards decide. You know, again, I pay attention to what Salt Lake Board is going to do. We'll keep you apprised of that. Clear cooperation. Guys, you put a sign up, better have it on the MLS within 24 hours. Put an ad on Facebook, better have it on the MLS within 24 hours. Totally different from that 5-day thing, right? I know it gets confusing, but pretty easy to do. Just get it, you know, just don't start your marketing before you hit live on the MLS, where you got 24 hours if you want. Is an agent allowed to use photos, going back to number 11, on expired or sold listings? I do get this where you can't use previous photos, guys. Okay. There you go. Thank you, Robin. I'm just telling you, don't do it. Okay. Yeah. Can you do, because I'll tell you one thing that I did. I have a listing currently in a community that's an HOA, and there was a lovely agent in our office who sold a listing in there last year. And my photographer did some drone photos, but he didn't get some of above the tennis courts and that. So I called the agent and I asked for permission. I was happy to purchase them. She chose not to charge me anything. So thank you. You know who you are. And allowed me to have 3 or 4 photos. I have permission. So if the MLS catches it, their AI is saying, hey, identical photo, I got permission from the listing agent who had permission from the seller. So can you? Yeah, but you can't copy and paste them, guys. Okay. Again, no, I know nobody's doing that in here. Lastly, when is an agent required to, what does this have to do with advertising? If you own your own property, you got to put owner agent on it. Ironically, if you are selling your own property, you don't have to list the name of the brokerage. You don't have to list the name of the brokerage. You don't need to name your brokerage. You do need to have owner agent on it. When in doubt, disclose, right? When you're writing an offer, you have an interest in it, you're helping a relative, or you're doing it on your own, include it with the offer to be on the safe side. So if I'm buying a property, I'm helping my cousin, who is a relative, right? Would you agree? Or how about this? I'm helping my wife buy a property. And my wife, she's actually an agent, but if she wasn't, is she a relative? Yeah, it's, okay, I need to put in there that I have a relationship with the purchase and buy. When you're a listing agent and the buyer's agent writes the offer, they're not going to put it in. What do? Yeah, I have an interest in the property. I'm an owner agent, or this, I'm selling this for my uncle. Okay, Mario sends me an offer. What I'm going to do is, what's nice, Mario's going to give me a call before he sends the offer. I'm going to say, Mario, do me a favor, would you? So we can work together on this. Would you include a disclosure of interest? Check this box, check this box, because I'm selling this house for my uncle. Can Mario do that to help out as the buyer's agent, help out with the disclosure, and vice versa? Yeah. It's called talking to agents. Okay, guys, that was just any questions, thoughts, comments, anything?
I do have one more question. Sorry about the photos and the copyright. So how does Zillow and Realtor.com and all of those have rights to publish when they don't have?
I think it's through our IDX agreements.
Okay.
You know, starts with the MLS and they
Okay.
have permission to pull that data. They don't own it, but they can use it. So yeah, IDX agreements. So cool. Well, guys, I know it's August. We had a lot of stuff here. I appreciate you coming. I hope I was able to teach you something. Always available to ask questions, and everybody's doing a great job here. And that's a wrap. I think I should have told you guys you could have got pizza there, but there's pizza and stuff in the back from First People. So thank you. Zoom, everybody good?
Yep. Will this document be emailed out?
Barry said yes.
Awesome. Thank
Okay, thank you.